What's up? What's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we take a look back at the early works of seasoned comedians before they were seasoned with this week's guest, Rhonda Hansome. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist and host of Done Way Past Funny. This is part 2 of our interview with comedian, actress, director, producer, the Nina Simone of comedy, Rhonda Hansome. Enjoy. Yeah, I was asked to do a set. I was spotted, and I was asked to do a set, and then they wanted me to change it was a 7-minute bit I did, and it was based on a true story. I read a newspaper article, so I just took actual newspaper facts and I made them funny. And I just took the ending of the newspaper article was the actual ending. I just made it funny. So they said, "We love this. We want you to do this." And they said, "But can you change the ending and make the person black?" I said, "No. This is a newspaper article." I said, "This is a newspaper article. I can't just change it and make the perpetrator black." They said, "Well, we think that would be funnier." I said, "I don't care." And so obviously I didn't do it because I wouldn't do it. No, I was like,
Yeah.
you know, when you don't care about, I like I said, to me, not I've only had 2 or 3 opportunities to be, quote, I guess, discovered, and I've found ways to sabotage every last one of them. And it's only because they asked me to like change something that would have been a lie, and I said I won't lie. If you ask me to change something that's not a lie, I don't have a problem with that. But if you want me to lie about something, I'm not going to lie. I can't do
Uh,
that.
I will lie. Okay.
Okay. Well, see, and I won't. There's just something in me that just bothers me when I tell a lie. I lose sleep. I lose sleep over lies. So I like sleeping. So, uh, so you put that bit together like from other stuff that you already had, and so when you were done with it, did you think to yourself, oh, I wish I substituted A for B or something like that, or did you walk
I
away
don't
from
know
it?
because so far the set seems to be going pretty well. I have to see what happens in the second half because I don't know. Did you see Chris Rock's special?
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Well, it's a very interesting thing to look at something like that. I know that his special was live, and you don't in that particular situation you don't get to put together different sets that have different kinds of reactions because when I was starting out here in New York City, we could go from club to club, like from the Upper East Side all the way down to the Village, and maybe do 2, 3, or sometimes 4 sets in one night. Or sometimes people would be doing gigs on Long Island or in Connecticut, and then come in to catch a rising star or into the Improv and do another set or go across town. And every audience is different, and you'll never know what's really going to strike an
Yeah.
audience in a particular way. And so I thought that was very brave of Chris to do a live special. Because even with funny material, if the audience it hasn't caught up with you yet, you're 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 left with that air. You're
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've there was a guy I recently I watched his show. I watched his set when I interviewed him, and they actually canned the laughter in. It was
Yeah, well, yeah,
yeah.
and that's something that is done. And also, because the audience didn't laugh doesn't mean that it's not funny. It means
Right.
that they're not on your frequency at that time, or sometimes that's what it is. And then and a lot of people don't understand that our being in a situation, not all the time, but every once in a while, being in a situation where we have that happen, that there's like a disconnect or they're not on our frequency, it's part of what we do. And frequently we have to use it to adjust timing, to adjust wording, and to move the joke around in the lineup of your set. So it's fascinating what we do. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And I did. I was well. I was recording my second DVD. There was one joke I did that I know it's always been funny. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. On this, I wouldn't have recorded it, and it always got laughs. And this time it was like 3 people laughed, and I went, "My people think it's funny." So that got the bigger laugh. I was like, "Okay, so
That's
now let's."
it's really that happened to me with the Fannie Lou Hamer chatbot line. And I said, well, I want to thank the 4 people who know who I'm talking about. And that got a huge response,
Yes, yeah,
being in the
yeah.
moment, being in the moment.
That's funny because one of my favorite audience reaction is the slow roll when you say something and it just maybe let's say there's 200 people in the audience and 20 people get it, and then 30, and then 50, and then 100, and then all of us, it's like I that's my favorite reaction. And when someone says I think I peed, that's my other favorite one. But the slow roll, I love the slow roll.
I love a spit take. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I that is, yeah, the spit take. And like I said, I've had 2 people go. Well, I had one person, I heard one woman yell out, "I just peed," and she went up and she had to leave because when she went to the ladies' room to get cleaned up, because I made her laugh till she peed, and I wanted to take her to every show, but I don't know if that was possible.
Well, you'd have to have a mop with you as well.
Yeah, and I give her a designated seat that has lining on it. So now this is where you sit right here. Ah, now see. Um, now back back when you started, did you have like superstitions or things that you did to prepare for show, and how's that changed over the years?
I didn't, because I came to it pretty late. I had already been an actress, and as I said, I had been involved in improv, and you know, I was watching like Chris Rock, and I think he was like 17 or 19 or something,
Okay.
and and I was a grown woman with a family. Actually, I would go with my son, my toddler son, in his stroller to go audition for the showcase clubs at that time. And I had a family. I was married with my husband at the time, and my son. So I actually did not personally know any comedians. I was entirely green to the situation, and I hadn't developed any superstitions or things like that. And I have to tell you, writing was one of the most challenging things for me. Uh, and every joke that I would get that actually would hit uh, was like mining for gold, which now I feel I'm in a different position, especially being with the Politipod gang. Of we're writing every single day, all the time. When
Yeah.
I started, you actually had an act,
Right.
and I worked the Catskills, the Poconos, and in addition to the other big hotels in Atlantic City and Tahoe, and your act, no matter how long it was, would pretty much stay the same. And 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 now I feel like our world is moving so fast. The things. change like sometimes daily by the minute, but every once in a while there's something that can be evergreen, and that's always fun to pull out.
It's funny. To backtrack on something you had said earlier, what we actually were discussing earlier about sometimes you have a great joke that doesn't land. Sometimes because I do, I frequent two clubs that have open mics, but only because I want to keep my skills sharp. I mean, I realize it's free, but because of who they are, they let me do like anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm not like doing like a 5 minute set. I can't do a 5 minute set. I can't even say my name in just 5 minutes. I have to explain to you what each letter means. So I can't. But I will come across as a younger comedian, and they will have a really good joke, but the audience doesn't respond the way they expect it. And they want to change the joke. And I have to tell them, I said, no, no, don't change a word. I said, that is actually a perfect joke. You don't get a lot of those. I said, put other material around it if you have to, but do not change that joke. No, that joke
That
is fine.
that is a very nice thing about what we do. That some of us are generous and are inclined to offer that type of advice, and sometimes taglines or
Yes.
pardon me, entire jokes to not only newcomers but veterans. If something comes to mind that you're not going to be using, you can give it to someone else, or give someone something supportive around the material. Because what we do is ephemeral. Sometimes it's like the bubbles in champagne,
Yes.
and precious, and hopefully funny.
Now, one of the things let me get back to you have one? How many kids do you have? I'm only aware of one. Okay, all right. I was only aware of like you having like one son. Does he think you're funny?
Oh, absolutely. And
Okay.
I love to have him in the audience first because he has an incredibly full-bodied laugh. He's a big guy,
Okay.
and he's grown, and he has a great sense of humor, and he has a great laugh. And every once in a while, when he's in the audience, he'll say, "Oh, he might even have a tagline for me, or something to add to a bit." Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to ask this because this is a curiosity. This is just a personal curiosity I have about parents and children because I've been there and I've seen this as well. Now, when your son was younger, did two of you used to like dance around the room, just play dance or whatever? A song would come on, you just pick him up and he'd stand on your feet and you dance or something like that. How
Yeah.
old was he when he was too embarrassed to be seen with you or dance with you?
Oh no, well, he's an only child, and I have never personally felt uh that with him. Uh, we like I enjoy his company, and I feel that he is very comfortable with me, and we I feel like we have had a very good relationship. Uh, in fact, I was the co-principal of his middle school. And so I would be around the school, like several days a week. I never got the sense that he was embarrassed because I was on television, I was on radio, and uh, and he would sometimes get a chance to go to like Atlantic City and be in the hotels and order room service, or you know almost trip Aretha Franklin, or have all kinds of treats, from being in at a resort, at a Catskill resort, swimming. So he really had an appreciation for his association with a funny mother.
See that changes it. Actually, that changes the formula too. Because when I ask people who aren't quote entertain in the entertainment field, because at some point, like, 'cause I didn't start doing comedy until I was 54, so I was not in the entertainment field, and so like I think Danielle was starting to get embarrassed by me by the time she was like 11. And Toya was embarrassed by me by the time she was 12, and Kirk was embarrassed by me as soon as he could talk. So, but I guess if I had been doing comedy, they might have liked me longer. I don't know. See, now I have to. What I'm saying is, you have made me rethink my theory, and I have to readjust my formula now.
That's what living is all about.
Now all that research I've been doing is gone to hell. Thank you very much, Rhonda. I have to start all over.
It's what I do, Glenn. It's what I do.
Now, was there any one or two or three individuals that helped you along in your comedy career? When I say help you, like either guided you, like professionally, like saying, "No, let's get you doing these kinds of shows," or someone who could help you with style and timing or whatever.
Well, when I was passed at Catch a Rising Star, when I became a regular there, at the time, David Brenner and Belzer, who just recently passed, they were the big deals there. Belzer was, a house MC. That I I was passed by Adrian Tolsch and Bill Maher. They were the they were in charge of making the lineup, and I think just by making me a regular at the club and giving me sets there where I could hone my craft, no matter how late they were, because the newer you are, the later your spots are. Um, that was very helpful for me. But the important thing was being able to watch the really established people, and being bumped by Robin Williams or Andrew Dice Clay,
Yeah.
but actually getting to watch people who I had been used to seeing on television and absorbing, that kind of uh, uh, experience is was extraordinary. Um, I wouldn't so much call it guidance that I got from my management. They just put me in certain places. Like I worked the Catskills a lot, and I had to do shape my act a certain way to appeal to that kind of audience. And I, I would say there was no one particular person, but it was nice being in a class or a group of people who were like all coming in doing late night or auditioning for things at the same time, and being generous with each other. Just offering taglines and listening to bits, that kind of thing.
Now, I'm just going to assume that there's sexism in comedy and that you've experienced it. When I, we don't have to prove it. But I want to know how you navigated it.
Well, as best as I could, you know. I was never a regular at the comic strip. I would go on there occasionally, but there were things like poker games and softball games, which had some women in it, but were mostly men were involved. And uh, first, because I had a baby at home, uh, I could not hang out as much as I would have liked to, and I think not really being an experienced card player or even athletic to be part of the Broadway Show League, which at the improv people would play softball. I think I missed out on a lot. I also didn't appreciate the frat house kind of environment that could sometimes be found on the road, where guys got seemed to feel like it was great fun to play practical jokes on each other. And I felt like that was, I mean, these to me, they were grown men, but it was like a juvenile sensibility, that they had that I really couldn't relate to.
I one of the things I had to uh, explain to my stepdaughter when she was younger is that I said, if you're waiting for a man to mature, I said, don't, because we don't mature. What we do is we get better at hiding our immaturity. So yes, if he likes race cars as a kid, he just starts driving bigger race cars. If he likes
Yes.
playing with GI Joes as a kid, he just starts buying guns as an adult. It's not like we grow up; we just get better at hiding it. You know,
You can
so
say that. I agree with you, but you can say that.
now, well, you can say that. As a matter of fact, and the reason why I know that because in your first set, you referenced Beulah Land. Now, I don't know how many people will be familiar with the concept of Beulah Land today, but back then it was, I guess closer to a history and a stereotype, I guess, or at least the term was still. I think we've gotten so PC now. In other words, if you were to do that joke today, what would you replace Beulah Land with?
I don't know because Aunt Jemima isn't even on the pancake box anymore, or syrup. All of
Yeah,
that stuff, changes.
yeah. That's all. I just wondering because, like, because the concept of Beulah Land is still out there, but I don't know what you'd call it now. You know.
I don't know. I don't want to say Lizzo land. I don't want to get in trouble. I gotta watch what I say. Uh, I
Well, we
don't
will
I
edit
don't
out
want to.
anything you don't want out there. We can edit it out. So if you tell me not to edit out Lizzo Land, I'll leave it. I'll leave it. we can, I can.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's see here. Now, as do women comics treat women comics any better than men comics treat women comics? In your
I think,
experience,
in my experience, it really is personality. I thought I was very close to someone, and uh, it changed. Our professional relationship evolved to where it's like almost nothing. And then on the other hand, there is someone who I actually started out doing improv with, and we didn't see each other for a decade. And now she's a great writer, and she I love to work with her on bits sometimes, and she's very generous. She actually Nancy Lombardo is her name. She actually helped me when I was dehydrated and I didn't know what was the matter with me. I felt horrible, and she knew the symptoms. So she's not only a very bright woman, but she very funny. So, but I feel like the men and the women have their own individual peccadillos, and it's a very uh, it's all personality based, and especially since COVID, uh, not actually being around people that much, it changes even your ability to exchange energy, to see, do you how you bounce off each other, as
right?
far as repartee is concerned. Um, I find it, to be not so much gender based. It's personality wise. Who do I actually feel like I'm comfortable with? You know.
Yeah, I got you. Um, I'm going to take this opportunity to put in a second clip, the second half of your Arsenio Hall show set. It's going to pick up right where you left off with the children being named Nautilus. Now I can't remember was it aerobics or Nautilus? Like, when was the last time you watched this clip?
I have no idea, because I was actually editing something that I just did. this week, because it was so exciting, writing, these jokes about, George Santos and the chatbot and, the spy plane and stuff like that. To me, the old stuff is the old stuff. And unless I'm doing a retrospective, it almost never comes into mind. I have stuff that is on like 3/4 inch tapes and stuff like that. I don't even have devices on which to play some of the some of the tapes that that I have. So I'm always thinking about the now and what's funny now.
That's why. Well, when I had the opportunity to interview you, I said earliest set as opposed to first set because back then recording your set was a luxury. If anything, I mean, if somebody had an audio cassette player and recorded your set, that was like gold. It's like, oh my God, I think I love you. I want to have your kids or whatever. I'll name my kids after you.
Yeah.
But now everybody has cell phones, and the funny thing is, these kids still don't record their sets like that.
Well, I have to do it because I like to see where I want to make minor adjustments,
Yes,
in the material. That's important for me.
yeah, I video record every set and open mic I do. I video record every. I have video record almost every moment I have on stage, almost, because sometimes I forget to hit record, or someone forgets to hit record, or I forget my memory card because I dumped the last show in my computer and I didn't take the memory card back out. But other than that, I have terabytes of information out there, but I watch it because if you just, and this is what I keep trying to tell young guys, young comedians, if you're only recording the audio, sometimes the punchline is not in what you said, but the way you looked when you said it. And you're trying to figure out why you didn't get a laugh this time, but you did last time, but you can't see your face or your
But
body
also,
language.
I was just going to say I like to do act out sometimes,
Yes.
and that's part of it. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like, well, in your first set, you did this. You went Beulah Land, or like like it's right over there, Beulah Land. Ta-da! No. And if you don't record it, if you don't see that, you're like someone goes like Beulah Land. I don't get that.
Mhm.
But it's something else that goes with it. It's not just Beulah Land, it's Beulah Land. Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. You've just watched part 2 of our interview with actress, comedian, director, producer, songwriter, dancer, puppeteer, uh, the Nina Simone of comedy, Rhonda Hansome. Please join us for part 3, and when you do, bring a friend.